Welcome to the Industry Insider, brought to you by PromoCorner. Each week, promotional product professionals Meg Erber, Jeff Franklin, and Stephen McFadden, along with special guests, will discuss industry news, trends, and events with a focus on educating the promotional products industry. The Industry Insider, the nerdy news you need to know.
Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I am joined today by three other lovely folks. But of course, before we get to them, we got to tell you about our fine sponsors over at Brentwood Line. Look, the Brentwood Line specializes in chairs, coolers, backpacks, and blankets. They're a well-respected supplier known not only for its high-quality products, but also for their customer service. Brentwood Line values and appreciates its customers to the greatest extent, and they want to make sure your expectations are met. So be sure to head over to BrentwoodLine.com to check out the latest and greatest products for all of your outdoor needs. And tell them the Industry Insider sent you. Kevin, I saw that you were doing a little bit of a spin there. I don't know if that had anything to do with the pitch that we talked about recently on this show, but it was pretty good. It went right along with it. But why don't we say hey to Stephen McFadden? How are you doing?
I'm good. I just forgot my book shtick, so I guess
I told you the shtick's over. The shtick is over.
It's no longer a shtick. If I literally, as soon as you started talking, I was like, oh, I have books. I forgot. I can't keep up with my own.
Kevin even set you up. He had you going. I mean, he had his thing going. You should have been like, oh yeah, there's Kevin's thing. Where's my thing?
The tea was hot before this thing started. So I was, yeah. Meg was absorbing it all. So I just totally lost where I was and forgot my shtick. So you know what? New shtick 2023 coming soon. We'll figure out what it is.
Fair enough. Meg Erber, thanks for doing your hair today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, actually. I am having like a really good hair day, aren't I?
Yeah, nice and volumetric and curly and all that good stuff. So,
yeah. No, I had a good
cool.
weekend. Got this office clean and organized, and I feel super focused heading into 23, even though it's almost February.
Yeah,
just on time.
This is the focus now.
I'm sure you can see the Christmas tree that's still behind me. I mean, we haven't taken the tree down yet, so.
We just got ours done this weekend, so.
I know we've had this topic before on the podcast where we've talked about what's the appropriate time to start decorating for the holidays. I don't think we've ever talked about when we tear this crap down.
Yeah.
That's something for maybe another topic. But Kevin Mullaney, super excited to have you back with us, sir. This will be your second time on the show. I see you've got a guitar behind you. I don't know if you're going to audition for us a little bit, maybe for the PPEF music series, or I don't know. I see it back there.
The last thing you want is this raspy voice strumming on those strings back there. I have no musical talent.
Brother, have you heard Pink? Raspy is in. Raspy is in.
So good. Yeah, she is talentless. You're absolutely right. But great to see you. Super excited to be back. She's not that great. Let's just be honest.
She's made a lot of money, Yeah, I'll give her that. So, yeah, we are here. We're going to talk about Fad 5 again. But, Meg, I think you wanted to kind of hit on what we've done in the previous episode, right? Do you want to lead into the conversation with that? Or?
For those that don't know Kevin, do you want to give us a quick intro as well first?
You know what, Stephen? Thank you for keeping me on task. You are absolutely correct. Look, we're not all fortunate to be great friends with Kevin Mullaney from Brandito. So why don't you take it away, sir, and give us a good 3 to 4 minute introduction of yourself for those that don't know you.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin Mullaney, Vice President of Brandito, based out of Richmond, Virginia. We put your swag on every day. We love what we do. We're a younger distributor. We're part of the Bacillus Network. Our focus is on corporate business and, again, just trying to give our clients a better buying experience from their typical day-to-day. I'm a father of 2 beautiful young girls, Cameron and Brooklyn. And I have a gorgeous wife at home that's very supportive of all of these wild endeavors that we get to do in this crazy promo industry. But in all seriousness, I got to meet Meg and Jeff for the first time in person in Vegas a couple weeks ago. Meg is much taller in person. I noticed that. I did not know if everybody else knows. And then got to see her right before she did her pitch. And then Jeff, indeed, is the fashionista of the Headwear. And then Steve and I have been buddies for almost 6 years, so it's always good to get together, see him, and then I get to see him again in a couple weeks in Texas. Welcome. Is that it? Is that how you do it?
That's it. Something. And shameless plug for Kevin because he won't brag on himself, but you are the reigning salesperson of the year for Facilis, if I'm not mistaken, which was last year's award.
I was
then
top achiever last year, and we switched it up a little bit, so I'm not the reigning. I did not repeat, but some more of my teammates that kind of took over some of my accounts.
And for those that don't know about Brandito, they've got a big give back component too, and so we love that about them. And me and him have chatted about that a bunch. So props to you guys for what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for doing a better intro of me than I did myself. Yes, past 2 years, we've been able to donate $50,000 to the Children's Hospital of VCU, which is an awesome state-of-the-art Children's Hospital here in Richmond, Virginia. Year before that was the Jimmy V Foundation, and year prior to that was Charity One. So giving is one of our 3 core pillars in our missions. It's always going to be a part of it. Then we do a lot of nonprofit work. I try and dabble. I work with the American Cancer Society on a large golf tournament, and then also I work with a company called Comfort Zone Camp, which is a nonprofit camp for kids that have lost a brother, son, relative, and they go to camp, they get to be a kid, they do all the fun adventure stuff, and then at the same time, they've got a big buddy like me that talks through a lot of the coping mechanisms that come through a loss. So again, Stephen, thank you. I should be talking about more of this better. So thank you.
You got it, man.
Steven's just keeping us all on task today, I think.
Yeah, right?
Very good. All right, so now that introductions are out of the way, and Steven's done an awesome introduction of Kevin. Why don't we leave it to Meg to sort of recap the Fad 5 from last year and see sort of how we ended.
Okay, so the first one that Kevin had said was we don't talk about Numo. It wasn't really Numo in particular, but it was the full color custom presentation for the products, custom in a really short period of time. So did that pan out? Was that one of your, I was a fab, I think. Was that like something that stayed, you think, or is that like out the window for 2023?
I thought it was absolutely hot or not. I thought it stayed hot. I think it's one of those things where you really do need to have a creative department that can really sink their teeth into that design capabilities. Numo has a fantastic in-house department that can help generate some of those logos. But I think the perfect match is you having an in-house designer or your client having a designer that absolutely blows the cover off those things. But they've expanded their line. It went from blankets and koozies to now, the sling bags that are super popular this year. They continue to explore and grow it. So yes, I thought that was hot.
All right, the next one was on-demand printing. You were not having it last year. You were like, I don't think it's here to stay. I don't think it's valuable. Have your thoughts changed in 2022? Do you still think it's not worth the money or the investment?
I still don't, not for our clients. For many people that want to have those types of, on-demand stores, good for you, way to have the patience, and your client's going to inevitably pay a higher cost. And I just don't think it's the right way to do business in this new Amazon experience where we're trying to get stuff out the door 24, 48 hours. So for Brandito, it's still not a fad for us. However, do you guys know where Brandon Patriarch ended up landing from Promo Corner?
Brandon, yeah, he did. He is a distributor in Colorado. I can't remember the name of it. Sorry,
I was hoping to give him a plug because they had an on-demand model that looked like it was really, really intriguing. So we'll see if we can circle back on that and get you some more details. But we're still running away from it. We actually just had an e-commerce store meeting with one of our clients. They have a really, really great program. Everything's on demand. And as of right now, we're just probably not the right partner for them if they want to continue to do business that way. And again, so we're still running away from that like the plague.
Steven, when you being a distributor, I think I might have skipped over your answer last year, but how do you feel about it versus how you felt about it last year?
Well, for the first two, Numo, yes. I mean, they, our salespeople have art skills as a requirement to sell. And so we can just dive into their books. And actually they went through, like, Numo in general cracked our top 5 in suppliers last year. So they were killing it. The on-demand, we've really never found, like Kevin mentioned, we kind of echo it. Haven't really found the right application for it. There's some reward one-off kind of things. But just from full programs perspective, I mean, Kevin nailed it. A lot of patience. It is a time-based service where you can only print so many things so fast and get so many things out the door so quickly. So there's maybe service providers that could help with things like that, but not our wheelhouse.
And Brandon is at Brandon Logistics, so that helps. So thanks for whoever commented there.
Yep, absolutely.
So the next one was sustainability, give back, minority owned, ESG, CSR, that type of thing. Working with companies that kind of put that at the forefront. Was that a trend? Was that a fad? Was it a fad? What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, I'm extremely proud to say how we just absolutely knocked it out of the park with the diversity-owned, minority-owned businesses and folks that focus on sustainability and give back. Our diversity spend went up as a company from 5% to 12%. So that was fantastic. And then additionally, for our core accounts where we actually measure it, one of our accounts, our largest account, went from 5% to 21%. So we couldn't be more proud to push those suppliers. We'll talk about a couple of those in the fads moving forward. Sustainability is not going anywhere if we all care about this planet as much as we say we should. So, no Greta comments here, but we all need to be doing our part when it comes down to using sustainable materials and also providing product that people aren't going to throw in the landfill, right? And again, coaching our clients, more value, less stuff continues to be what we're looking for.
Well, one of the things that we talked about with the eco or sustainable stuff in the podcast last time was, with it, people wanted it, but it was cost prohibitive. And have we continued to see the price of eco or sustainable products kind of trend downward? Is it getting more affordable? Is that the reason why clients are able to go from 5 to 21%?
Yes, I find like the wheat-based material, the bamboo-based material seems to be less expensive. Not less expensive, I apologize, but more in line with their typical budget.
Yeah, and I'm also seeing that people don't mind spending a little bit more money for a better quality product and that will have a longer shelf life. So that kind of all comes in a circle and a whole little package of sustainability. And the one thing that I've noticed over the last 2 years or last year is that we've seen a big push from PPAI and a very big push from ASI doing their separate things. But now if you go into Sage, that you're able to search for, companies that have, sustainability or DEI or minority owned or whatever, you're able to kind of break it down. I don't have it in front of me to really dive into that, but they've done a really good job. And I will touch very, very quickly. PromoCorner is actually doing their next fundraiser. We're about to launch very, very soon. And it has a huge give back component, a lot of low lifting, not a lot of heavy lifting, a little bit of merch, but really, really awesome. So we're just seeing a lot of big things for this industry. Okay, so the fourth one, hybrid work. You said eventually it'll go back to brick and mortar. How do you feel about that today? Now we've had a full year of actual hybrid. We've seen quiet quitters. We've seen it all. So where do you stand on the hybrid work today?
So it's interesting because I think what you're seeing a lot more is that employees are being more held more accountable for lack of production. So managers, owners, presidents, CEOs, C-level folks are bringing those people that are underperforming. Still think there's a reality of a thing called a lease or ownership of the building, paying the rent, if you will. And if you're doing that and your employees aren't utilizing that space, that's a waste of money. Now, I will say my boss has always been a huge proponent of everyone being in the office, and we just rolled out hybrid work. He hates it, right? He's very transparent that he hates it, but it's something that we have to do as most of our workforce is the younger demographic that's looking for flexibility, that's looking to work from home. And if you have a job that allows you to do that, so obviously our warehouse and fulfillment employees, we've got about 15 folks that don't have that luxury, they don't need to do it. But it's effective as of this week, and everyone's in the office. So we still enjoy that collaboration. I do think that hybrid work will stay forever for a lot of cloud-based companies, a lot of remote sales organizations. But if you've got a big old building, you don't want to walk in and have those seats being empty. So I do think it's bad timing, right? We're now past the pandemic a bit. God bless, I hope, right? We're getting out of flu season. But let's start thinking about the recession, right? And again, I hate to bring that up in the fads and the fun things that we're going to be talking about, but there's bigger things to worry about, in my opinion, right now than, say, for example, is your employee showing up to his desk 9 to 5? As long as they're getting his or her job done, I still think we're in good shape. But I think next year you're going to start to see more of a push to get people back in their seats.
I hope that's the case, Kevin, because I can tell you from an outside sales, perspective, from the supplier side, I can certainly confirm that the hybrid situation is still very much in full effect for a lot of folks out there. And it's interesting that you talked about, brick and mortar as well, because I've actually seen some distributors actually sell their buildings and go to like rented or shared office space, which is, I'm really interested to see how this trend sort of affects us, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road as well, because I think it has a lot of, mental health situations, and issues there. I think there's, that work-life balance. It's really hard to separate work and life when you're, literally in the same building the whole time. So yeah, really, really interested to see how that continues to pan out. But Kevin, I hope you're right in that, there's a big push for it over the next 6 months or a year to kind of get back to the butt in the seat.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And the last one that you said was actually a product, and then we're going to jump right into the Fad 5 for 2023. But you had said shorts and pants. Listen, something completely worse. And then uniforms and workwear. You were seeing more of that being a trend for people like you, when you have baby hands that you don't actually go get dirty, but you'll wear a workwear shirt. Or did you see that being a trend? And have you fixed an alternator yet? Have you gotten those hands dirty?
Absolutely not. No, can't fix a light bulb. Outsource everything. No, I do think that was continuing the trend. I thought Carhartt was absolutely blowing it out of the water. We gave our employees an end-of-year incentive. They picked the North Face, Carhartt, some JBL speakers, and mostly everyone chose a lot of those Carhartt items. And that was a lot of people that also don't know how to change their tires or change their oil in their car. So I still think that is more of a look and a fad, that brewery look. And Carhartt really knocked it out of the park for us. So I do think that's going to continue to trend.
Do we think Yellowstone has anything to do with that?
It certainly could, right? And then Mercer and Metal, I think the Cadas apparel, right? They're trying to make it a little bit more trendy. I think they've done a good job with that. And yeah, I feel like Yellowstone's got a touch of everything right now.
I'm waiting for the Peaky Blinders trend. Can we get there with our fashion?
Yeah, as long as Jeff sells razor blades and and his hats now.
And his hats, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we can sell caps with like little stash pockets and stuff for marijuana. I'm sure you could stick a razor blade in there too,
Yeah.
Like,
minor upside.
All right. Well, I think we're ready to move on. We have to run through these. We've got about 15 minutes left, but let's see. Let's start from the number 5 and work down to the number 1. All right. What do you think?
The first one that I saw is just the I believe it's called Qi charging, spelled QI, but I believe it's pronounced Qi. One of my favorite items that I saw was the Trio Qi from one of our minority-owned suppliers, Ace High. $45 price point, charges your phone, charges your watch, charges your AirPods all at once, and then boom, stacks up real quick so you throw it in your backpack and travel well with it. I loved it. I still think that stuff's going to be trending on.
I think I did see that somewhere, and I was like, wow. I have so many chargers for my phone. I've never used a single one of them. First off, I'll charge it, and then I'll go somewhere, and I'm like, it's the old USB. I can't get that into my phone. So I end up not using it ever. I've never used one ever in my life. So that I actually think I would use because I use all those. I have the watch, I have the AirPod, and my phone. So I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I do love a good power bank. One of the issues that I've always had with a lot of the promotional power banks is that typically they're smaller in size, like 2,000 milliamps or something like that. It's like that doesn't really get you very far. Me personally, I like I'll spend a ton of money to get a 30 milliamp hour, 20,000 milliamp hour battery just because it's going to charge my phone 3, 4, 5 times, plus all the other accessories and things like that. And you can get them, USB-C and all that good stuff. So I don't know where our industry is with power banks nowadays, but I know, before a lot of the promotional ones were, those smaller ones that wouldn't really get you too far.
And since this is a nerdy news, you need to know. So QI Qi is a charging standard that was adopted in 2010, and they came out with like different regulations of how to do induction charging and regulation. So they've basically become the standard for charging methods. So you'll see a lot of different brands that have QI or Qi certification on it, and that's what that is.
Steven's walking out of here with the MVP trophy of this podcast. Let's not sugarcoat it.
I got your back, Kevin.
Ready to go to number 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Here's my only question. Hey, man, you down with HPG?
You know
Yeah,
me.
you know me.
Steven, you down with HPG?
You know me.
Jeff, are you down with HPG?
You know I am. I'm going to mess it up here.
All my homies. All right, so HPG. I don't know if you've been able to keep your eyes on my hands, but I've been playing with my balls the entire time. So these are called Tranquility balls, and they're fantastic. So this is actually an ancient hand exercise from China. HPG came out with it. It's come in this beautiful little full color graphic sack, and I think this is going to be great for mental health, right?
It's a perfect word.
Oh, is that too much?
That's perfect packaging. Perfect packaging.
Flagged?
Yeah,
Okay. So in all seriousness, I absolutely love this. Major ADD child over here. So when I'm working on a presentation, actually trying to think about stuff like this that we're going to talk about or how to collaborate with my team, I've got my hands on my balls and I feel better about it.
Do you remember, Kevin, the ZBs? These
I
were
never
like
had the case of the heebie-jeebies. No.
No.
Heebie-jeebies, yes. Zeebies,
They were these two little magnetic things. I can't remember the company. Like Zing Line, or I can't remember, Jornik, or one of those way back in the day, and you toss them up and they'd go like, and then you catch them.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like before the fidget spinner. This reminds me of like that. It's the next fidget fun branded item. Yeah.
I think it's more of an executive desk drop, right? Like if I was a CEO and I had all of this stuff that people always send me, I'm keeping this. And I'm not a CEO. I'm just a basic vice president, which means I do absolutely nothing. So it's fantastic. Again, my guys Nick Latour and my guy Mark Chip Chase sent me the sample so I could have it for this podcast. And again, just can't thank him enough. Super excited talking about mental health awareness, which is in May. Something like that. Keep that brain going. I think it's gonna be great.
Awesome. All right, let's. I like that. Those are really neat. And
that was number 4, Kevin, right?
That was number 4. So we're going right into number 3. We talked about Ariel before, another minority-owned supplier. Yeah, we went 4, 3, 2. Sorry. So your guy, my guy, Tony from Ariel. I love him. And he comes out with new products. They keep upscaling. They keep raising the level. They've got this new cool tech item. It's called a Flip Stick 2.0. Sticks on the back of your phone, and then it's got adhesive so you can stick it up against your mirror, up against the shower. So when Meg's doing her TikTok videos, she has that. When Jeff's over there cooking for his family, he's Chef Jeff. He's got his recipe right there in front of him while he's filleting mignons. And then again, anytime Steven's doing an audio book for his kids in the back when they're going to Disney and they're hauling it and they're stopping at the Bojangles, they're not missing any visual time. So again, it's a cool item, sticks to your back of your phone, then also can stick as the adhesive. Excited to see the adhesive at work. The demonstration in Vegas went really well, but I'm always looking for those $5 tech items, kind of those table grabs. I know $5 might be a little bit high for somebody to consider that a table grab, but the Flip Stick 2.0 from my minority sponsor, Ariel, and my guy, Tony, I love it.
I like that, actually. I think we're gonna have to get some samples of those and try them out and see how that works. But I like that. I like that one. That might be my nugget holder from 2020.
Well, we knew you would like it when Kevin brought in the whole TikTok dance scenario. So
but he did it so good.
Is that how they do it? I don't have TikTok yet. I can't force it.
You nailed it. You should probably start an account because you'll end up going viral. I mean,
well, we need to. Someone's got to pay the bills around here. So the next thing is actually more of what we're talking about. The new 2 things are really less product oriented and more, more fat, like what I should be covering. The Hit Digital Business Card through Link. Did anyone get a chance to see that? I know PCNA had one last year. This one's really rad because if you just slide that business card under your phone, you don't need to have your camera out. it immediately loads up. So I still think they're doing a good job of leveling up, right? And they're finding new technology to partner up with. So it immediately goes into my contacts. So with Meg, I'm like, wow, she really is a tall glass of water. I need to get her contact information in Vegas. I just slide that business card, bam, type in my name. And then also what's really cool is not just going to give you your name, email, phone, like a normal business card, but it can get all my socials, my LinkedIn, my TikTok, right? My Instagram, my Facebook. They can really have everything they need from me, even my social security number if it's on there.
Nice.
So again, I think the link business card retails about $25. I think that's more helpful than, say, for example, we got the one from another supplier that came out last year, and it fell right off my phone, and I was like, wow, there's $25 off the bat. So just one business card that can slide.
Nice.
And again, if I were younger in my 20s, hitting the bar scene in Richmond, Virginia, in this world of Tinder, I'd just be like, boom, Bumble, Tinder, Bumble, Tinder. You know what I mean? I'd be handing it out. That's what I would be doing. That's
Is that how it works?
I have no idea how it works, to be honest with you. I've got a couple of friends that are on it.
Yeah, Kevin knows.
All right. First off, I like that idea too, because I have business cards and I forget them for every single trade show.
Yeah.
Every trade show. I'm like, just Google me.
My understanding is it's what it's called is NFC technology, which is the overall fad that I wanted to cover, which is basically, I have it Googled up here. NFC technology stands for near field communication. So another person that did it really well, no knock here, Meg, but Alpha Broder has a T-shirt with NFC. It's got an NFC tag on it. And then if you scan the T-shirt, it can take you to a URL that can then give you an actionable item. So again, QR codes obviously still really popular. I'd imagine they're probably pretty hard to print on a T-shirt and make sure it works. So this NFC technology, just throw it on a label, and then I can recreate that URL that it lands through. So say, for example, we've got our end user expo on March 30th, shameless plug. And then what we'll do is we'll have that T-shirt on and then give them a chance to win one of our Patriot coolers if they just scan and we get their information. Then we're going to South by Southwest, also in March. So if I'm just cruising around with this dope Brandito shirt, you're like, oh, what's up, man? I love your shirt. What do you do? I'm like, slap this thing on, and then boom, take them to our website, and then now I'm talking intelligently about it. So I think this idea of wearable technology is something that I've personally been a little scared of, because I thought it was going to put us out of business. But I think this is going to help generate business in this world of swag, which is always tough to target an ROI. I think this type of stuff is really going to help us get these ROIs from trade shows and events.
How do you see, not to go too deep on this one in particular, but how do you see this comparing to QRs? You know,
I just feel like this, because it's, and again, QR codes, I used to think were a disaster. And then COVID happened. And then all of our moms and dads had to learn how to use these things too, just so they could order a sandwich at a deli, right? Like that was the game changer. Like, you know, reality has changed the way things work. I think QR codes were a thing that we were going to die in the vine, and then COVID made them relevant and necessary. So now, without the ability to even have to turn on your phone and just be able to scan it, which just holding up your phone, I think that makes it a little bit easier. And then also, you know, right now, if you work with a supplier to use a QR code, a lot of times there's an additional setup fee or a testing fee to make sure that QR code works. By the way, always pay the fee. Do not be the person who doesn't test it, right? That's setting yourself up for failure. But I do think this new NFC technology is going to be more helpful than the QR code. So I see this as a trend that's moving the right way versus just having that weird little block puzzle on the corner of a sleeve that just doesn't look good. This is just a nice little tag. And then the same thing with that business card. It looks like an Apple card. So just really more professional way of kind of getting your point across.
Cool.
I really like that. Sorry, I do. It's kind of nice.
No, I appreciate that. And then the last thing I'll touch on is really experiential gifting. Okay, so I think that's something that a lot of our clients are tasking us with. And luckily, as soon as we walked in the trade show floor, we saw Brittany from Goldline with that beautiful baby blue blazer on, and she was talking all about her experiential gifting. So they can send Puma out to your golf event and have them fit you for a golf club, golf bag, golf shoes. And they're not just golf shoes. Now they've got that, you know, that frat boy, frat guy loafer. So that FootJoy loafer with the little buckle, the cute little one on the top that you can wear to business meetings. So it's not just sneakers and slip-ons that, you know, are good for men or women, but now it's a nicer experience. So when you walk away from an event, say, for example, we were going to have them at our expo, and everyone walked away with a pair of FootJoy loafers or some really nice Puma slip-ons for the ladies. I mean, you're walking around feeling good, like you just really got something great. And again, getting them sized to your liking, all of that stuff. I think the experiential gifting is going to be something that continues to trend upwards. And it looks to me like Gold Bond's doing it better than anybody.
Are you seeing that too, Steven? I saw you nodding over there.
Yeah, I mean, experiential gifting has been I don't say a challenge, but it's been more of a requested thing, specifically when COVID happened. But now that it's done, it's always been something we've tried to do, right? But it's been difficult because we've had to source different things from different places to kind of create this message and this experience that we've wanted. But there's places like Gold Bond, the book company. There's even Gemline with some of their kitting, with plant kits now, or a combination of food and items. There's places that are bringing in retail pieces and literature that kind of pairs with it, like whether it be books or stuff. We saw a garden company there, Kevin. I don't know if you saw them. They literally send out full plants with pots, care instructions and all this stuff. I'm like, this is great. Like, this is the stuff that we've needed in the industry, and it's good to see that there's providers that are helping us with it. So
yeah, it's an awesome transition. Are we cut off on time here, Jeff?
Yeah, we're fine.
It's awesome. So that was going to be my next transition of the ones that just missed it. But Jeff, before I cut you off again, what did you want to say? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, since we're talking about kits and experiential marketing, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about HPG, since you talked about HPG already. Because if you remember when we did the Cinco de Mayo episode, they sent us this awesome kit, and you can see my piñata is still up here. They send out these whole kits that are all about that particular event or topic. So I mean, I think that kind of thing is awesome. Experiential marketing is just is growing everywhere, and it's just a matter of like how to incorporate it more, because it is relatively new still. So like we've even talked about it at trade shows, like who's doing the experience booth at the trade show, like who we're going to remember because of the experience that you had at the trade show, as opposed to what booth. So I mean, it's all over the place, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw someone who's doing coasters and they were just laser engraving your initials on a coaster, there's a line out the door for that. Right? There's a laser engraving going on your initials on like a Pelican tumbler. Same thing. People are about that experience. They want to walk away with it. But Lively Root's a fantastic company. That was on my just missed the top 5. They send you a house plant, and the planter is actually decorated. It looks beautiful. And again, that's something like, hey, thanks for growing with us, right? Hey, congratulations on your promotion. Way to grow with the company, right? I can go 1,000 ways with how that works well. And then obviously mental health. There as well. I think everyone, the other trend that wasn't the Stanley tumbler, Stanley's kind of that, again, of getting paid by TikTok. Stanley tumblers that basically 40-ounce, large handle, fit in a coffee mug, good for that super mom at home. Those are really popular, and then the knockoffs that came with that. And then that Lululemon crossbody that all the females from 14 years old to 88 years old, whether they use it as a fanny pack or a crossbody, those are super popular as well.
So I thought I was like the last person to jump on that wave, and then I got one at an event, and I went to a concert, and I was like, this is the best thing. I'm like, I don't even care functionality over fashion. I was wearing it, and VJ kept pointing out, I was like, look, they're all wearing one, but all the cool kids wearing like this.
Across
it was
the body,
me and like an 80-year-old woman, and then like another like maybe 60 years that had them around their waist. But I'm like, I can access everything.
Every time I think about it, I think my mom when we were at amusement parks, like sitting there with the big old waist pack with like double stuffed animals that were oversized. Like, oh, I can't wait for the kids to get off this ride and tell me all about it, right? And now it's like uber popular with all the 20-somethings in my office.
Yeah, I
also,
think I don't know if you
got a chance to meet Stacy Stahl with Sweeter Card. So it's an awesome company. They do direct mailers. She actually just got her business into Starbucks and Barnes & Noble. But basically, salted caramel, tastes delicious. What I love about it is we talk about minority businesses. She's a female minority-owned business owner, and then she supports folks with autism. They're actually the ones that are packaging these items. So super supportive of that. And then also thought it was really cool. Some people hire talent like Vegas showgirls to work their trade show booth. Not Stacy. She hired her best friends to just come and help her out. One was a doctor, one was a lawyer, And again, hopefully it's just very, very awesome friends of hers. So I thought that was really cool. And then the last one that I thought was really cool, has anyone ever done one of these like custom arcades?
No, but
Logo story?
Not yet. Not yet. I
So
just
this
got
is
a
really rad.
mailer
I'm a
from
big
it.
nerd.
Yeah.
So this has like 300 games loaded on. You can do a full color logo of all that jazz. I mean, I swear to God, I thought I was going to get beat up in the airport by this 8-year-old who was just eyeing me up. And I was like, dude, I'll swap you your Switch for this. And he was like, all day, man. His mom looking at me like, did you steal my kid's Game Boy? But this thing's really rad, preloaded, full color graphics. It's the team over at Logo Story. I don't know if they're legit or not in ASI and ESP Web or not, but they're phenomenal. And that thing was a lot of fun. So that was another cool thing. But overall, near-field communication, the wearable technology, I think that finally came to a point where it's actually useful. That's what I thought. And then again, experiential gifting. I think those are my 2 ones that I would say did its best at Vegas this year.
Awesome.
I agree on all of them. I don't have, I mean, last year, I think the one that I was like about was the on-demand printing, but like I could see the wave, and I think it has to fit your specific model, but otherwise, man, boom, mic drop, Kevin, you killed it.
I will say, I'm looking at some of these comments. Apparently I'm doing a terrible job because they're already asking for different guests to come on. So people are apparently saying, Cillian Murphy, shout out, let's talk. Apparently you're very entertaining.
Cillian Murphy's the Peaky Blinders guy. That's why.
Okay. I feel better. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to jazz and Jeff me out of this mansion. Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin,
yeah.
Rich Graham wants to know where that mini arcade came
This is
from.
from Logo Story.
Logo Story. Yeah.
Rich, feel free to hit me up. I'm happy to pass it along an intro. But yeah, really cool item. And again, something that I would use again and again, travel with. My kids love it. They don't know how to play Ninja Turtles on it, but it's really fun.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually got a sales flyer from a company that came with that came to like 5 minutes before the show, and it was about full size arcade games, like full color graphic arcade. So I'm seeing, same with you with the trends that you mentioned, but it's like you see the denim pickup, you see the retro styles, the crossbodies, the fanny packs, the retro arcade. We're there. We're back in whatever decade that was of that being popular. So, but again, it has to make sense for your customer and the activation and all that. So
intrigued with where Meg went.
Yeah, where did she go? Where did she go?
We did a mailer. You reminded me, Steven. We just did a mailer. I haven't had a chance to do a video on it, and it's for LAT, right? But it's coming in like an old retro lunchbox. So I get it. Like the whole retro thing is back, and there's all this little stuff in there. But yeah, sorry.
Very good. I'm just enjoying some of my Sweeter Cards chocolate right now. No big deal.
That stuff is good, man. We pitched some stuff around Q4, and she sent me one of the boxes with all the things in there, and I was like, "Hey, by the way, like my 6-pack only came with 2. Those 4 went walking somewhere." So
I like chocolate caramel.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's really awesome.
She's great.
She's a serial entrepreneur, so I'm excited to see how she gets in this space. So remember, she'd be a great one to have on the Insiders, by the way. She's awesome.
Very cool. All right, guys. Any other questions for Kevin, or should we wrap this up?
How's that taste, Kev?
It's lovely. It's lovely. And I hate watching people eat. I never eat in front of other people. And here I am in the podcast that has a number of years.
Yeah, well, you've got what's the number say, Jeff? 13,000, 14,000 people just watching you.
I mean, it's at least my mom.
Yeah. My Aunt Mary is definitely watching this. Hey, Mary. Hope you're recovering.
Oh.
Cool.
No, we've got a pretty good following. So, Kevin, it's awesome to have you. You always bring the energy, man. Love having you. Love the humor and all that good stuff. So, thank you for joining us. But again, this episode is brought to you by our good friends over at the Brentwood line. They specialize in chairs, coolers, backpacks, and blankets. They're a well-respected supplier, known not just for their high-quality products, but also their customer service. The Brentwood line values and appreciates its customers to the greatest extent, and they want to make sure that they are meeting all of your expectations. So be sure to head over to brentwoodline.com and check out the latest and greatest products for all of your outdoor needs. Tell them the Industry Insider sent you. And look, guys, until next time, really appreciate you guys being here and sharing some time with us. So take it easy.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Promo Corner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit promocorner.com.